everybody, it's Christine Bertram coming to you live from the Hive on a Monday at 1 p.m. Central. It is it's May 9th. Oh my gosh. So I was just talking with Kathy King this morning, and I was telling her that I blinked and the last week has disappeared from me. I just don't know. How did it end up being the 9th today? I know what happened is a new catalog launched, and a lot of my past week has been filled with product shares, DSP samplers, in color clubs, classes, and then we had Mother's Day in there, and whew, by the time we knew it, it's already the 9th today. So I want to send a quick reminder out. I am in the middle of finishing the newsletter, you guys. So a little bit about what's been happening over the last 5 days. It has been crazy in a good way, always crazy in a good way, you guys. I never complain about spending time working on stamping stuff at all. Hi, Penny Powell. Hi, Laura Sullivan. Hi, Mitzi Stanley. Mitzi Stanley, you are on a Post-it note that you want to make sure you get emails from me, and I will go in and do that. I'll check. What I tell people, so there's lots of different things that go on with emails. Yeah, thanks for sharing, Laura. I appreciate that. The afternoon class, Cindy Runtree, hello. It throws me off, you guys. This is a newer thing. Okay, lots of like tangents going on here, but the afternoon classes are a different thing for me. Hi, Arliss Canoop. I forget about them, but I don't forget about them, if that makes any sense to you. I don't generally hi, Sharon Davis. I didn't do afternoon classes until, I'd have to say, like weekday afternoon classes until I basically left my daytime job. And so it's only been 2 months or so. And hi, Holly. Hi, Stacy Burns. And I have to think about it. And you guys, so first things first, hi, Linda Hunt, the PDF tutorial. Hi, Linda Hodge. Wow. I didn't write it on my list. And so you guys, I am a list maker. Hi, Jeannie Parker. I like lists. I get it from my father. He had a list of work to do yesterday, even though it was Mother's Day. I will add things to the list if I do them, and they're not on the list. Hi, Jean Maxwell. And so there's lots of things on the list that had to happen over the last few days, and I am a just-in-time type of person, and I make sure they get done by the time they need to. Well, I had it in my head that I needed to write the Let's Just Stamp PDF tutorial for today. I had it in my head to do it Friday. And I didn't write it on Friday's task list. And then on Saturday, my brother shows up to help me with the DSP sampler, which was what was planned. You guys, it took us each 12 hours. We started basically, let's say, hi, Carissa. She's a list maker too. We started at 2 in the afternoon, like after we game planned for about an hour, getting all the paper ready. Hi, Rhonda. We got all the paper ready, and it was 2 o'clock. We got upstairs, and it was in sections. So from 2 until 6 o'clock, we cut all of the designer series paper swatches, and then we printed the labels and put out all the sheets. If you guys remind me later after I'm done with the class, hi, Carol, I'll take the tablet off and walk around the Hive and show you the DSP samplers that are done. And then it was laying out all the color swatches. Hi, Amy. It wasn't just for 24. You guys, in the past, every time I've done a DSP sampler, it's been 24. Well, I have 42 signed up. So I made 48 because it's like, well, if I'm going to make a few more because it's the annual catalog. So this sampler goes for the next year. Hi, Francis Rodriguez. And so we made 48. And so it was double. We worked until midnight Saturday night, and then we got up and we went from 9 until 11, and we had to be at my mom's for lunch at noon. Hi, Jennifer Jones. Happy Monday to you, Amy. I had to be at my mom's for lunch at noon, and we ate. And then basically from 2 until 4 or so, I worked on putting my sampler together. And my mom, even though it was Mother's Day, she helped me with ribbon for the product shares. It's been nonstop, you guys. And I had a little hiccup with the top fans. Hi, Joan Gordon. The top fans threw me off this month. I have reached out. I think Millie Kindle tried to help me. Anna Rebedu tried to help me. My friend Rachel Wild tried to help me. I couldn't get a list. Hi, Cheryl Thomas. So on my cell phone and on a tablet, you can get the top fan list, but you can't copy and paste it into a document and assign a number to everybody. But I saw the names, and in a laptop, hi Susie Fick, hi Deb Norman, in a laptop, you can't get the list. It just says, oh, top fans are assigned to people who are like and promote your page, blah, 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 blah. I'm like, well, that doesn't help me. Thanks for sharing, Penny Powell. Oh, so the top fans threw me off, and I was waiting to do the top fans to write the newsletter, you guys. So I said on Friday I was going to get the newsletter written. Well, I struggled with top fans and wasted too much time with top fans on Friday, and then all weekend helping people trying to help me. What I did for top fans, and I'll announce the top fan winners later. There were like 120 for last month. Hi, Jewel Easterling. I had to do run my finger down my phone, and then boom, it stopped on a name, and that's how I got the name. So I can't do a random number generator drawing, but I'm trying to explain to you like all of these little hiccups. And then with working on stuff all weekend with the sampler and Mother's Day in there, I didn't get the newsletter written. So my plan was, after I announced the top fans today, that I was going to get that newsletter out this afternoon. And that includes the scavenger hunt, Jean. So with the main newsletter, I was going to publish the scavenger hunt. So after I'm done with this live here, those are my main two focuses besides a bunch of other things. But thanks for sharing, Mitzi. I appreciate it. So I need a big drink. Yes. Hi, Deb Norman. So I have an itch right there, you guys. It's my bra, I think, and it's not good. Thanks for sharing, Deb. So Tyler and I when we finished at my parents', he worked, my poor Tyler, he went to with my parents yesterday. My dad had a list of things for him to do too. So, oh yeah. I don't miss a beat. You're right, Susie. So all in all, the newsletter is coming, and also the scavenger hunt is coming. And the scavenger hunt, you guys still have till May 31st to get that in, which is awesome. So you still have like 3 good weeks. But I did want to say to everybody who's watching is Paper Pumpkin. That is in my newsletter. And the thing about Paper Pumpkin is it's kind of time sensitive. Yes, Jeannie Parker, I would love for you to come and help me. Kathy King too. She's like, gosh, I wish I lived closer. I would come over and help you, and I would just love to be with you and helping you. And I'm like, I would love that. I'm at the point, you guys, where I do need more help, but it's hard to relinquish that help. And like I have my mom that helps me, but gosh, I wish I had 1 or 2 more people that I needed, like, somebody to help me keep track of things better. So, that's how it goes. But not complaining, never complaining, just always going and rolling with it. But so scavenger hunt's coming, newsletter's coming. I want to show you guys, do you still have the mini guillotine, Susie? Yeah, I still have a little mini, like that I use, this little guy. Yeah, I still use this little guy when I need him. I think that's what you're asking. I don't have one for purchase, but I do have one that I use. But back to the Paper Pumpkin. That's if you're moving. Jeannie Parker, you should move closer. Your grandsons would love it on the farm. Little Kenny would love it over here. My mom was making plans for when you guys come for the summer creative escape. And so Bella's going to help watch Kenny while we are stamping all day long. So thank you, Mitzi. I appreciate that. Oh no, Susie, I don't have one for sale. I have one that I keep for myself personally, but, Paper Pumpkin, you guys, today is the 9th. It is tomorrow is the last day you can sign up for Paper Pumpkin. So I want to mention it in this live in case you don't get to reading the newsletter, in case you would, like to get in on May Paper Pumpkin. It's going to be a good one. I wish you lived closer too. Sorry, Mitzi. She said she wished she could get the little cutter. Someday maybe they'll come back out with another little guillotine. But the Paper Pumpkin is all about in colors, and it's going to be a good one. They're giving away, I don't know what it is. There's tokens. So if you guys, when you get my newsletter, you should read the section on Paper Pumpkin. They're doing a giveaway, and so people will randomly get gift certificates in their boxes, which is super cool. So that's a little bit about the Paper Pumpkin. I'm going to flip down and show you guys, I got some happy mail, and we're going to do this so you don't see my legs. Let's see if that worked. Yep. Okay. So this beautiful card came from Melody Miller. A nice, quick, easy little thank you note. Thank you for the beautiful ways you've touched my life. So I appreciate that. Oh, a golden ticket. Yep. Hi, Donna Grushki. Hi, Noreen Banduff. So Noreen, I just sent you an email about the product share asking you a question. So if you could get back to me when you have a chance, I'd appreciate it. Look at this lovely book card. This came from Miss Kathy King in Oregon using the Abstract Beauty products. I love it. She used those little hexagon embellishments. I've never used them yet, actually. Okay, so that's the Happy Mail I got, you guys. I do want to tell you that at the end of the live today, I have the winners for these 5 cards from the In Color. Hi, Carla Lake. I do have these 5 winners picked. Hi, Christina Bernards. I do have this set left, you guys. I over forecasted this so far by like 7. So if anybody was still looking to get this free with a purchase or paying for these cards, I would have kits available. And then this is the designer paper sampler, you guys. It is legit. Holy Moses and a half, I would have to say. This thing is the Mac Daddy of DSP samplers. I don't know who else from a demonstrator perspective sells and makes these kits up, but wow. Okay, so it's all the DSP and specialty paper in the annual catalog. You guys, I have 43 people signed up. I have 48 made, so I have 5 unaccounted for. So if you are on the fence about getting this, please reach out to me sooner rather than later because I know I will run out of those 5. But what happens is you will get all of, here, let me show you, hang on. My brother, he was such a lifesaver yesterday. He helped me so much, and Saturday, this is what you guys will get. You will get the white sheets, and you'll get a packet, and each of these little packets has the name of whatever the sheet is, and so you'll get, there's like, I don't know, 28 of them maybe, but you get this whole pack. So this is a kit. I sell this as a kit. Carissa, you're signed up for the DSP sampler, and I think you've already paid for it, if I'm not mistaken. Hi, Christine Talego. We'll have to check Carissa. I'm like so glad I pronounced it correctly, Donna. That's awesome. Hi, Elaine Rebeck. So you get all those little swatches, you get a packet, you look for the name at the top, and you glue this. And then on top of it, I'm taking pictures of this, and then Kelly, my cousin, puts it into a PDF tutorial. It's not like a tutorial per se, but she takes and puts all the pictures into a PDF, and then you can look at mine as, hi Terry Costin, you can look at mine for a sample. But how this works is you put page protectors and put it in a 3-ring binder, and you have it all year long to use as a reference tool. No problem, Carissa. We need to double check. I'm not at my computer right now, but we'll double check just to make sure. So Judy Immel loves this because when she's crafting and creating, she can look to see what the papers look like. It only gives you a little sampling of the paper because sometimes the 12 by 12, it changes throughout, but it still gives you a sampling and it gives you all the colors. And so what happens is every designer series paper is represented. And we have the book going this way for the moment, right? Because of how many color swatches. Hi, Betty Ray. Hi, Stacey Ray. How many color swatches were on some of these that it took up a lot of room. And then what happens when we go to this next one, it switches direction and it goes this way. And these are back-to-back sheets, you guys. So it goes to Abigail Rose, to Awash in Beauty. Butterfly Kisses is a double one. Linda Hodge says she uses hers a lot. That's awesome. Design a Daydream is the hostess paper. Happy Forest Friends, Lovely in Linen, He's the Man, Sun Prince. These kind of went in alphabetical order, kind of, maybe not. Perfectly Penciled, Texture Chic. And then my mom glued this upside down, so I got to get the glue off of that. That's why there's a plastic bag. But it goes, so this is what made the annual catalog so massive, is that I include the color families and the in colors, you guys. So subtles, and then brights, and then regals, neutrals, and then in colors from last year that carried over, and then the new in colors. And then there are 2 sheets with all of the specialty papers, including the brushstroke, vellum layering, pearlescent linen craft, the in color glimmer, the silvers, the brush metallics, the rose golds, and then distress gold, gold foil, copper foil, and rose and gold metallic. So you guys, this is 15 pages back to back, and didn't realize how much paper was really going to go into this, but it is what it is. So this thing is $26 for porch pickup if you pay with cash, check, or electronic like means without a fee. And then otherwise it's an extra $10 if you need it mailed because it goes out in a priority padded envelope. So yes, that was a major accomplishment, you guys. It is $26 for porch pickup with a check, Laura, or if you want to mail a check and then have it mailed to you, it would be $36 for the mailing. So, on my counter right now, there are 48 of these lined up all the way from one end to 18 feet that way to 25 feet that way. A lot of work. Oh my God. So it was 12 hours that we spent together with Tom and me. And then my Aunt Karen and Kelly actually set up the Cricut to do all the little color swatches, and that took 8 hours. And then, yeah, so there's a lot of love put into that kit, you guys. Yes, and so Terry says, very appreciated. Good, I know you're getting one, Terry. So hi, Connie from Central Minnesota. Okay. And then the product shares, you guys. If anybody still wants to get in on any of my product shares with the papers or the ribbons or the embellishments, reach out to me. They are all done. Yes, Connie Davison. I am not going to get an opportunity. My mom's coming in on Thursday. Because I have class again Wednesday afternoon at 1. And so my mom's coming in Thursday. And in the morning on Thursday, we plan to ship out all of the DSP samplers, the In Color clubs, and also the product shares. So if anybody wants to get in on the paper, ribbon, or embellishment shares, please reach out to me. I've got the first round almost set. I don't know if you guys can see, you probably can't make it out very well, but like right there on the table, it's a whole bunch of stuff, like paper that I still need to cut that. So hi, Sherry Martin. If you guys want any information on that, just go to my calendar of events. May 2nd was the DSP sampler. May 3rd is the product share. So Cindy Rentree, following up with an email. Yes, absolutely. We'll get you signed up for a DSP sampler. I confirm that you will get one of the ones I have left. And then I believe you could just send me a check if I think that you are one that sends me a check for 36. And if we need to add on classes or anything like that too, we can wait to figure all that out. But just know I'll get you on there. Is it empty? You need to buy paper to make the poster. So Connie, this is what you'll get from me. You will get this kit. So you will get all the white papers printed, and then you get all of these color, there are all these poly bags in here, and they each have the name of the page. So you pull that out. Oh, Cindy, perfect. A check for 36 is perfect. You will get that, and you need to glue. So what you need to add to this is adhesive, you guys. I don't provide the adhesive, I don't provide the page protectors, and I do not provide the 3-ring binder. So I will get you everything though to make those beautiful sheets. So yeah, okay. So we are doing the Let's Just Stamp class today, which is geared towards beginners, but all are welcome. I'll go through and do the roll call in a second. I did want to give an update on the In Color Club too. Karen Jackson, how do I sign up? Please send me an email, Karen. Flip down here, send me an email. Right here is my email address. Please send me an email. Hi, Jean Terwilliger. Please tell me in an email that you want it, okay? That would be awesome. chrismbertram@msn.com. Send me, and my camera will flip down in a second again once we get started, but I need an email just to know that you need it, and then I'll figure out from you how do you want to pay for it. If you want to pay for it via my website, you can with a credit card. Thanks for sharing, Betty Ray. If you want to send a check in the mail like Cindy Runtree, and like if Laura Sullivan wants one, a check works. Otherwise, I do take electronic money by every means that there are basically out there. So yes, so we'll connect on that though after. Like for right now though, just get me an email and tell me to sign you up for one. So, back to the In Color Club though too. I have all of those going out this week. I ended up with 3 groups, you guys, 3 groups of 5 people. It was awesome. So 15 people signed up for the In Color Club. Thank you to everybody who signed up. If you're in person and local to me, I'll have those ready for porch pickup like between today and tomorrow. Linda Hodge, did you pay me for everything? Send me an email and ask me that question, Linda Hodge. That is a very good question. Oh my I don't know. I know we were covered through the MS benefit, but I don't know after that. So send me a note via email, Linda, and tell me what you're thinking that you need to pay for potentially, and then we'll look that up. I have my sheets here. We'll look it up afterwards. So, but the In Color Clubs, I'll be planning to mail those out too this week. So yay, I greatly appreciate everybody who signed up for that. So every month people will be getting their In Color Club stuff, like little presents in the mail. So perfect. We talked about the newsletter and the scavenger hunt, you guys. That's coming. So I don't know what else I want to chat about in the beginning here. So Tip Tuesday, I'll be live at some point tomorrow for Tip Tuesday. I don't know when. It's usually by 5:15 to 5:30 at the latest. We have another double date with my mom and dad tomorrow night. We're going out by them. So we'll probably be leaving here about 5:15, 5:30. So it will be before then. And then I'll be live on Thursday night with the catalog launch party. You guys, I don't have any kits left, you guys. I made 60 of them and they were gone last week already. So I don't have any left of these, and I actually overcommitted by one and had to make an extra one, which is a lot more tedious. So, but just so you guys are ready, this is what we're doing Thursday night for the live, just to get you ready for that. The catalog launch party featuring all the new In Colors. So that is going to be a fun class on Thursday night. I generally am live Thursdays. So for those that are new to me, I'm generally live Thursdays at 6 p.m. Central for my core classes that I do on Thursdays. And I do ad hoc classes. Sometimes I have a random Friday night, sometimes like a Monday for Let's Just Stamp. So hi, Joanna Bastine. Hi, Mary Drummond. Hi, Sue Sorrell. So just know that generally I'm not, like once a month, I'm live Mondays at 1. So, but Thursdays are my core. You guys can always catch replays if you want to catch the replay later. You don't always have to catch the live. So let's do roll call, you guys, and let's see who's all watching. Hi, Dar McCarthy. So for class today, I have Julie Bierschbach, Sandy Wicklander, Carissa Alberts, Doris Munson, Angela Knutson, Susan Risch, Laura Sullivan, Barbara Moynan, Christina Bernards, Karen Stagg, Carolyn Ketchmark, Jeannie Parker, Cindy Runtree, Deb Ryan, Ann Bellinger, Amy Ponce, Carla Lake, Francis Rodriguez, Barbara Barco, Cheryl Thomas, Becky Gandolfo, Debbie Schultz, who's on her way up north for a wedding. So I don't know if she's maybe watching from the car or maybe she's not. Lori Geiser, Lynn Beasley, Sue Somerville, Deanna Stell, Patsy Roberts, Becky Rohrer, Sharon Davis, and Naughty Nancy Stormer. So you guys, when it's all said and done, I had 33 people, 33 kits, and I have one left. So that means I only had 32 signed up. So I'm not sure what to do about that last kit, but it is free with a minimum $45 order, or it is $15 for porch pickup or $20 mailed. I don't want to, like, it's available, but I don't know who's going to tell me first. And so if anybody's interested in it, it's best that you tell me like via this Facebook Live and me acknowledge it, and then I know it would be gone. If I don't hear from anybody throughout the entire live, it goes into my past classes still available on my schedule, and then it's there for the future. So Tuesdays and Thursdays, we have baseball games on those nights, and that's why I'm so happy there are replays, you guys. If you miss out on the video, the live video, it's no problem. The Facebook is the video is there for replay in Facebook and YouTube, actually. Hi, Lizzie Lister, big X's and O's to you. And Laura Sullivan will be in Savannah, Georgia. I am jealous. I love Savannah. It's one of my favorite places to visit. That and Charleston. Awesome. San Diego is also nice too. So I love to be near water. So a lot of you guys are here watching. Hi, Nanette. So we're going to go ahead and get started. This class is what I call, Penny Powell gets it. Okay, I see Penny Powell's comment coming through right now. We're going to write your name in Penny. So we'll connect on the other part of that later. So if you're planning to place an order, Penny, let me know so I can get you in on the drawing. And if you're not, don't worry about it. Those people who placed orders to get this class for free, I do a door prize drawing. And so I have the numbers all written, except for if Penny, you want to place an order, just let me know and I'll add you. So this is Let's Just Stamp. It's no die cutting, no embossing. but the cards are still like nice and kind of, to me, more fancy, which is, and like, we love layers. So Diane Bogenhagen and I do this class. We design the cards together. I do the online class, and then Diane does the in-person class. Oh, hi, Karen from Ontario, Canada. I'm glad you love the videos. Yay. So she generally does the in-person on a Tuesday night, and then I do the online. Hi, Karen Wetstein. I did a video tutorial. I'm curious, how many of you have seen the first Facebook Live that I did for Let's Just Stamp? It was with the Blossoms in Bloom class. I'm curious, give me a heart or a thumbs up if you did. I spent about an hour talking to people as if they were just starting stamping, what you need, the tools you need, like adhesives you need, and different things. I went through my entire toolbox. And the great thing about video is that you do not need to keep reproducing the same video to put it out there. Hi, Julie. Hi, Karen. Hi, Robin. So what I always do is I refer back to that video. And in the description for this particular video, I referenced that very first video. So if you haven't seen that one and you're interested in what it was all about, all you have to do is go back to that link and copy it. So I have a bunch of people here that have watched it. I hope it was beneficial. I hope it explains a lot. I know when you first start out with stamping, it can be overwhelming and intimidating. Hi, Katie Schmidt. And so I'm hoping that that video helped. And like, I don't need to reinvent that every time I do this class now. So I always just go back and reference it, and just to give you guys the, hey, this is what it's all about. One of the most intimidating things for people when they first start stamping, I think, is actually cutting paper. I have experienced that. Oh, Cindy said it was helpful. Good. I have had people that are intimidated by cutting into their paper, their cardstock, their designer series paper. And I guess my biggest piece of advice for that is use scrap paper, like copy paper. If you've printed something bad and you don't want, if you use the other side for scratch paper, practice cutting on your copy paper first. That is what I would say is a good, and I think I did that as a Tip Tuesday once. So just know that that video is out there. Go back to it, refer to it. If you're ever not sure of something, you can always email me, call me. I will tell you, if you email me on a Friday, I might not get back to you until Monday because sometimes the weekend happens and I try to lay off of emails a little bit, but I generally get back to people relatively fast. And I think most of you know that. If you've emailed me on a Thursday night or a Friday, you might have waited 4 days because I sometimes might not get back to you until Monday. So, but I do. I answer questions and I help out people as much as I can. Hi, Kathy Groves. And especially if you're new and you're not sure what to get when you first start, I love to help people, and it's great being in an in-person class with a new person and having them sit next to a seasoned person, hearing it from somebody who's actually doing it. I listen to those conversations, and so because I haven't been a beginner for probably 20 years. So, hi, Catherine. I'm good today. I hope you are too. So I love to help. So if you ever need help and you're just getting started, just please reach out to me. Know that if you're just watching me too for the first time, I do work through my cards pretty fast, but that's the great thing about the replays. You guys can start and stop and pause me and shut me up whenever you want, and then start me again when you want. So, all right. So what we've got today is, that was enough prepping and talking about this class. I think we want to get started stamping. Oh, there are dies for this. I'm going to flip down. This is the stamp set that we're featuring for class today. It's called Paradise Palms. And then the cards that we're doing are these 3 cards. Hang on. So when Diane and I pick out what we're doing for Let's Just Stamp, we like to pick stamp sets. Nanette retired effective May 1st. Awesome. You can watch more lives now. Yay. So when Diane and I pick the Paradise Palms, or when we pick stamp sets for Let's Just Stamp, we like to pick stamp sets that have focal images and sentiments. So if you are just starting out, you don't need to get a lot of extras. If you want to make the cards exactly like the cards that are in class, it's basically, hi Mo, sneaking in the office. I love it. I won't tell your boss, don't worry. So we like to pick the stamp sets that have focal images and in sentiment, so that it's just one set. I was looking at this class. it looks like we used quite a few ink colors. We don't generally use this many ink colors in a class. This is a lot. I just realized, I'm like, wow, that's a lot of ink colors for today. But usually, yes. So Joan has the Tropical Oasis set, which is perfect. You don't always have to use the same stamp set if you have something similar. What's awesome about this stamp set is if you do have a die cutting machine, you could get the dies that go with this set. And this is currently offered as a bundle in the mini catalog. So what's super cool is that it has dies that cut out some of these images. So this is what we're using for today's class is Paradise Palm. But again, no die cutting. Everything in these 3 cards is just basically stamped and then we assemble. And what we've got is a couple stamp sets did get added just for some texture and some birds. So you wouldn't necessarily need to have this. It looks pretty with just a blue background. And until you get it up close, it's really hard to see it. Let's get that out of the way. But that gentle waves, this is stamped on the background. It's a background stamp. And on one of the cards here, those birds got added from in the moment. So just birds. And honestly, if you guys had a marker, you could make your own birds if you don't have this. And I don't know why we did it, but we picked this little bird from Waves of Inspiration. So these are extra, wouldn't necessarily need them. It's just that there were no birds in this stamp set. And we just thought, well, there should be birds on these cards, right? So we have a daytime one, we have a nighttime one, and then we've got an in-between one. And so I think my plan, for those of you who got the card kits from me, you just know all of your pebbles are in one kit, and it's in this kit right here. So you have a strip of pebbles that looks like I just cut off a strip. So you have all 9 of your pebbles in one card kit. All of your linen thread is in the other card kit. And I realized after the fact that I added these polished dots, but I didn't include them in the kit. So these are optional. If you would have them at home, you could add some sort of bling to the sky to make it look like stars, but I don't have them in your kit. So we're not gonna use that today on the sample cards that we make. But I think what we're gonna do is we're gonna start with this one. Hi, Lisa. We're gonna start with this one and work our way through them. And let's see here. So when you get a card kit from me, it comes in an envelope and you get all of the pieces that you need to make the card. So you'll have all the card bases, card mats. In another class where I do die cutting and embossing, you would always get it embossed so that you don't need to do embossing. Die cutting is generally done unless there's a very specific image that you need. Hi, Sandy Wicklander. So we need the Balmy Blue, Old Olive, Daffodil Delight, and Soft Suede. Those are the ink colors we use for these. Now, if you don't have these exact ink colors, because you have similar ones, you could definitely use your similar ones. There's one more color, Basic Gray. And oh, you know what? You wouldn't even need Basic Gray if you used Memento at 2nd strength. But I did stamp those birds in Basic Gray. So let me grab Basic Gray. You can generally get, better late than never, you're here, that's all that matters, yay. You can generally get multiple colors from one ink pad by doing 1st, 2nd, and 3rd strength. So if you didn't have a gray ink pad but you had a black ink pad, that would also work for the birds. So let's see what we have in our kit, you guys. I'll take the plastic out so that you can see. This is a card where we have a double matting. And so Diane especially loves it when it's double matted. So whenever I design a class with Diane, there's always double matting. So you guys will have 2 Balmy Blues for that reason. So you have your crumb cake base, which is a traditional, it's 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4 1/4. Now this is a horizontal card, so you're gonna remember to wanna stamp things in a horizontal. Hi, Linda Kester. So then you have your 2 Balmy Blues. One is for your inside. You have a white that is the matte for the inside, and then you have a Balmy Blue for the outside. So right like that. And then for those that got the card kit, you'll be able to see this paper is a shimmer paper. I don't think the videos ever do it justice, but you can see that it is a slightly different hue of white. It's shimmer white. So it's got a more, yes, Ann Ballinger, I know you love double matting. I've gotten your cards before and they're double matted. It's got a more ivory tone compared to the white, but it is called shimmer white. You guys also will have a piece of designer paper. Now, here's my disclaimer, you guys. These cards were designed like about a month and a half or 2 months ago, and we are currently in the new catalog. And so this crumb cake is the designer paper from last catalog, right? So if we look at the new catalog, you guys, I can pull this out and show you. So when you get the designer series paper, the new ones have these, it's like a polka dot, this diamondy check-ish pattern, this stripe pattern, and then flowers. So if you order the new neutrals designer series paper, it's not gonna be the pattern that was in this kit here. This one is last year's pattern, no longer available, but I had to get your kits mailed out and it was all with the last year's design. So you get to pick. There were 4 different designs. There's this kind of design. There was a stripe. There was 2 others, more of a check. So you got one or you got the other. And then you have to figure out, do you want top or you want bottom? And you have to make your own hill. So this is where you'll need to grab your scissors, and it's completely straight right now. You're just going to round this top ever so slightly, and then you can come down a hair. Hi, Deb. And then make a hill. So you guys, that needs to be done manually by hand. There is no die for that. You're just going to create your own little hill. Okay, so that's your designer paper. It was about 5 1/4 by about 1 or 1 1/4. And then you have this other little scrap piece. It's like 7/8 by something, 1 1/2. There are 2 sentiments in this set that are about the same size: retirement wishes and happy birthday. And so you could do either one of those, anything else, or honestly, you could leave it off and not even put a sentiment. So I'll show you what that looks like if I remember. Okay, you guys have 28 inches of linen thread in your kit in this card. It is not only for this card. You have to be very careful because I do practice a lot of ribbon conservation. You might think you're able to wrap that ribbon all the way around your card, but just know if you do that, you will not have enough for your other 2 cards. Ultimately, you're only going to cut off the first amount, like about 12 inches, and then you're going to cut about 4 inches, okay? Because you need to save some of that linen thread for this card and for this card, okay? So we got to be very conservative, so don't get like wrapping around your ribbon. I'm going to show you that when it comes time to put the card together. So first things first, let's get a little stamping under our belts, you guys. So we're gonna grab the pieces that need to be stamped. The shimmer paper adds a little extra special touch. It sure does, Jeannie. I would have to agree. And we did the shimmer paper on this one too. And it's so cool to have that shimmery through there. And it's like having Stella added, but not having to use the Stella. It's just all pure, like little shimmers throughout. So there's a few things we need to do here. We're gonna stamp a sentiment. We're going to do our focal image here, and we're going to do a focal image there with a sentiment, you guys. There's a beautiful little scene right there. So while we're stamping, we're going to make sure we do, oh, that moved. We're going to do all of it at one time. Thanks for sharing, Corinne. I appreciate it. All right. Oh, Cindy, I'm so glad that you are doing the ribbon conservation. And you guys, if you don't know what I mean by that, just stay watching, and I'll show you what we mean by that. Okay, so this scene right here is actually... this is actually having a little blue sky going on, okay? I brought out some blending brushes, you guys. If you don't have these, you could use a sponge or a sponge dauber. They would both work. But I'm gonna grab my more blue one. I'm saving these 3 for the other card that we're doing. So these are available for sale in the catalog, a set of 3 for something like $12. Oh, and Deb uses the... now use the ribbon technique all the time. Great. So when it comes to the blending here, thanks for sharing, Amy. We're gonna dip our blending brush or your sponge into the blue ink, and we're just adding a little bit of blue color to our shimmery white. And I am gonna come down almost the entire length of this because it looks like there's sky all the way down. And it's gonna be a very soft blue. If you don't have balmy blue, you could use any lighter blue color. Pool Party would even probably work. And I'm just coming down and I'm gonna be a little bit lighter on the bottom, and I'm only hitting the corners a little bit. Thanks for sharing, Sandy. So what's happening here now, you can kind of see that there's been blue added to that. And it's okay that you might have a little more color in one spot versus another spot because it's the sky. The sky looks always very different. So I'm gonna brush this out a little bit, and if you wanted to do any on your inside, you definitely could do some along this top here. It's definitely doable. I'm gonna leave mine be for right now with just that. Then I'm gonna work on the sand bottom. So there's a stamp that looks like, let's see, here you are, right there, this guy. And you can stamp it this way, you could stamp it this way. These are all red rubber stamps, you guys, so I'm not putting my piercing mat underneath, which is perfectly fine. I did not bring the, where's my crumb cake? We need to grab crumb cake. There's one more color, you guys, hang on. I have class tonight in person, and I have all my totes already, and that's where all my ink pads were sitting. So we need to grab the crumb cake, yet another color. I wouldn't use soft suede as a replacement for crumb cake. You want something softer. You could use Sahara sand. What I like to do first before I actually stamp on here is I like to practice, and I'm going to use a scratch paper. I like to practice to see how dark my stamp is. Okay, so that's a little darker than I'm looking for. So I'm gonna leave it now at second strength, which is, that's first strength. And I'm gonna go right here and do a second strength. And that gave me my little sand hill on the inside. And then I'm gonna ink up again, stamp off, come over here, and now I'm going to do a sand hill this way, ink up again, stamp off, and now I'm gonna flip my block and stamp this way and do another one here. So I've kind of created this little sand hill. If you wanted some more sand down here, you've got a little more ink on here, and you could stamp a little bit more at third strength and get that filled in with some sand. So that's the sand. We've got that done. If you do your envelopes, you guys, make sure to put this cool little scene on your envelope. I know lots of people like to decorate their envelopes to match. All right, so that's it for the crumb cake. There are two palm trees. There's one and there's another. And apparently we used both of them. So, oh, maybe we didn't. Yeah, we did. We must use Diane's set. So I need to grab a little block for the sky, and we'll use both. The one that's more straight will go here, but look how tall that is, you guys. Do you see that? Hi, Judy Bobo from windy Upper Peninsula. You know, we're windy here too. So do you see here that it is longer? And then this one is also longer than what the card allows for, you guys. We need to make sure we put like a little piece of paper. We need to mask off, okay? Because if you go to stamp this right like this, it's going to be too high, all right? So what I would do is grab so soft suede ink is what we're gonna use. And we're going to put like this piece of paper right about here so that it doesn't stamp lower than what it needs to. So this is a little form of masking. And just to see how dark it is, I would recommend practicing. I'm like, oh my goodness, that is a lot darker than that. But that's first strength. And now we're going to do second strength. So here's another idea. Before we do that, I might recommend the tops of your trees because it's easier to line up the top of the, sorry to go different directions with you guys there, but let's just see how dark that is. Oh, that's perfect like that. So this one's going to be near the top up here. And then there's a second tree top, bobble-op. from Mario Brothers. Treetop Bobble Up. All right, this little guy is gonna go here. Now it's gonna be easier to stamp our trunk. So I kind of know where the top of that is, and I'm gonna kind of hover into where it is. This has sat now for a second, so I am gonna ink up again, stamp off, put my mask here, and now I can kind of visualize where the top needs to go up into that tree. And now I've got my first one. And then there's a second one, and again, stamp off. Otherwise it's way too dark. I got a halo there, so I notice I can't rock my stamp right there. And then this one is going to go down to right about there. He's a little more curvatured. So we've basically put our 2 palm trees on there. As long as we've got that going on, we're gonna continue with this one. And we have to do the same thing. We're gonna use the curved one, stamp off. We gotta put our little mat there. Tree top first. Remember, we like to do that first. Get that kind of where you want it. And then it's easy to fill in the trunk. Like that, okay? So, if you don't, hi Bonnie Brown, if you don't quite get your trunk into your tree, that's where the coconuts come in handy. We had such a blast. These coconuts are crazy coconuts. So, they look like this, you guys. They are the most entertaining thing to stamp with a girlfriend with. Okay, so you gotta make sure they're facing the right way and not upside down, okay? So they fill in that gap right there very nicely, and you kind of just guess where they're gonna go, and then you got some coconuts hanging in the tree. So you got the lime and the coconut, and then you're gonna put some right there, and these were soft suede full strength, okay? So that kind of just makes that palm tree look complete now. All right, so we're done with our little coconutties, and we need some, we're done with the, oh, we're not done with the green. We're gonna do some grass. So, old olive again, and if you see this, I have one here and one over here. So it is stamped nuts. You wanna check to see how dark it is. Okay, so that's not so bad. Jeannie, it would be fun. Yes, you guys should have been with me and Diane. I think we were crying stamping these cards with these coconuts. Hi, Judy, Harmon. All right, so we've got one like right about here, and then this guy like that. So we've got some grass now growing around our palm trees, and then we're gonna put a little grass action over here. So something like that. All right, I'm okay with it over there. Now, if you would want some grass over on that side, you could make it happen. What you would probably do is, I just want that over there, so I'm gonna kind of guess like that. So now we've got a little bit of grass on that side just to make it look like it was meant to be there. Now I think we're officially done with the old of the olives, and we need to do a sun up at the top. You guys, if you have crushed curry could work. If you have Daffodil Delight, which is what I have here, you could use Daffodil Delight. I'm gonna put a sun on the inside here though, on the top left side, way up there. And then we're also going to put a sun in the top corner up here. If you don't have the stamp set, hi Hildy, if you don't have the stamp set and you need a sun, you could do a mask with a circle and kind of sponge it in. Okay, so that's it for our daffodil. And then we're not done with soft suede yet because we need to do sentiments, but we need this bird action. I gotta show you guys, so let's do our sentiments here. So I'm gonna make this as a birthday card because I don't know if anybody who wins this would want a retirement, but I think a birthday card would be good. So you guys get 2 shots in the dark on this one. So happy birthday, and if you don't, oh, I got a halo. If you get a halo, don't squish so hard and flip it over and go for it again. If you're making mass quantities of cards and you've stamped that back side, I sometimes will cross it off so I know I don't need to use that side. All right, then on our inside, the sentiment is so awesome. It says, wishing you a warm and beachy kind of day. And hi, Debbie Standuffer. So I always practice with the edge of my paper, okay? And then I go towards this and We're stamping this more to the top left. There we go. I got ink somehow smeared right there. So we're gonna get that off. Somehow I got ink smeared right there too. It's sand flying in the sky is what that is. All right. I think that's it for soft suede now. What's left is this bird. So you guys, I will complete disclosure here. I have this stamp set and it is called, oh, this isn't the one that I got to disclose. This is the Waves of Inspiration. There is a single bird flying in the sky here. So if you have basic black, you could do basic black at second strength, or you could do the basic gray, you could do smoky slate. But if you're going to put the sign here, something like that, then you can't stamp too hard, you guys. You'll get a halo, like big time. A halo is when you push really hard and you get that. This is a halo. I will show you a halo. This is like the worst halo of all times. The bird is very holy. I mean, angelic. So that's a halo, you guys. That's not usually you don't really want that on a card, but even with having all that ink on there, you can not get a halo by just not pressing very hard, right? So I find a lot of people spend time in class cleaning that off all the time. And if you can do that if you want, but just know that if you just don't stamp very hard, you won't get that halo and it will still look very nice and you won't waste the time trying to clean up the stamp. So did you notice if I would have got a halo on that, that would have ruined the whole thing. But I knew I wasn't going to. I had a little faith in myself that it was going to be good. We're going to put two little birds there. Bird, bird, bird. Bird is the word. All right, so I think that was a lot of stamping, you guys. This card was a little bit labor stamping intensive. So, all right, let's get that out of there for now. So we can do a little assembly action. So let's grab all of our pieces. You guys know I like to, when I can, glue multiple things at once. So this can get glued and this is glued flat as well. So I'm a liquid glue girl, so I'm gonna run a little glue on that. And then on the back of our white mat here. And let's do this one first. Didn't that inside turn out cool? So if you are one that likes to decorate your envelopes, you should definitely do something like that on your envelope. But it is so pretty. You're right, Cindy. So with Let's Just Stamp, we are more geared towards stamping. And when I do my other classes, I gear a lot more towards die cutting so that if you don't have the same stamps, it's okay. Where this one, you might want to have the stamp set or something very similar. So there's that. And then we're going to put this on here, right here. All right, if for any reason it doesn't meet or if it goes over, you just take your scissors and you trim that. And there we go. So we try to put ribbon on every card and we're gonna add it on the bottom. So this is linen thread though. So what I'm gonna do is prep with a little bit of tear and tape on the back. So you guys that are taking this class from me, you have 28 inches of ribbon. I believe I had my mom cut 28. I think that I did the math and that should work. So the way you wanna do this is you take and put your tail, the end of it right on the card there, on the back. And then I'm gonna kind of go diagonally up. I catch it just, so Jeannie used the berries out of Berry Blessings and your coconuts just turned out a little large. Large coconuts aren't bad coconuts, that's good. You got more juice in there then. So you guys see what I did? I hardly used any back here. I used about 1/2 of an inch and then I'm gonna bring it back to here and I'm only gonna catch the tear and tape and snip that off. Then that's hardly any twine getting used, okay? But I do like to secure with the more tear and tape so it does not come undone. And we're going to glue this then to our card front. So the trick with, I love linen thread. Hildenel, if I had to pick something out of the catalog for ribbon, I think I would pick the linen thread. You guys saw what I did there. I used my bone folder to push down the tear and tape, and then it sticks better, and then that waxy paper comes off easier. So we're gonna do liquid glue, like that. And flip this. Oh my gosh, you guys, you know what we didn't do? We didn't stamp the gentle waves. Okay. Okay, we're gonna make it happen. It's okay. I'm gonna show you. So this is why I know a lot of people watch the video and don't necessarily make the cards till afterwards. Okay, we're gonna make this work. Okay, so this goes on the inside. So what's happening is I just realized that there's a stamp set and it's over here covered up. It's called Gentle Waves. Oh man, it's a background stamp. It's in the mini catalog. It's not carrying over. And unfortunately, I did not stamp it on here, which is okay. If you haven't done yours at home yet and you're still working, just make sure you stamp this beforehand. But we're gonna do it. We're gonna put ink on here and I'm gonna cover this up and we're still gonna try to make it work. And I think it'll still turn out just fine. The main thing is that I do not want to get blue ink on here at all. So I have here, let's see if I want to do this. This is being creative, guys. If you missed doing yours, okay, I don't want to do that there. I'm thinking I'm going to ink this up, and I believe it's at second strength, so we're not using it at full strength, and we're going to take our chances. So what is going to happen here? I'm going to put, I want masking tape. You guys, this is, I'm thinking on the fly here. I'm going to go get some washi tape and we're going to put some washi tape down here to cover it up. So we're going to be okay. Hang on. Hopefully you guys didn't miss that step. So, all right. We're going to make a little ad hoc thing here. Let's just keep going. This is scrap paper. We're going to cover this up ever so gently. And I've got some washi. Washi tape works good for something like this because it doesn't rip your paper. It will hold this down without causing any damage to our paper later on in life. Oh, yeah. I don't usually forget a step in making a card, but it blended in so well that I hardly even saw it. So I am just masking this off, you guys, as best as I can. All right, so I'm feeling good. If I get a little blue there, I'm not worried about it. So we're back on track here. We're gonna ink this up. I want the more liney area versus this area, so I don't use a block generally when I use my background stamps because they suction to my countertop very nicely. I feel like here, hi Deanna style, I'm gonna take this and get a little bit of that color off because otherwise it's super dark. And I'm going to then put this here. We're going for it, guys. And we're just going to, yeah, right? We're gonna put this here. And we're gonna see what happens. I'm hoping that it doesn't hit the crumb cake and that I've got that masked off very nicely. And we're just gonna get some nice little waves in the background. I don't think there was an up or a down to the waves, so just rubbing the ink on. This is called upside down stamping. All right. Oh man, you guys, I just saw a notice. Oh, I had such technical difficulties on for Thursday night. My space filled up. So it created 2 monthly class videos, part 1 and part 2. Kelly literally just got it uploaded. She's been trying all weekend and that messed me up this weekend too. Let's see what happens, you guys. Yay! Okay, you guys, we've got waves. We've got waves. So now this will come off and no one will know that we accidentally did it backwards. Okay, so now Kelly has the ability to merge videos together. So that's what she worked on. She tried Friday, she tried Saturday, she tried Sunday, and finally I just got a notice on my phone that it just uploaded. So yay to that. You guys, I am like a well-turned or well-oiled wheel. And as long as there doesn't get a kink in that wheel, life is good and we keep cruising along. And because that video didn't get uploaded, I didn't get my thank you video done and published. It didn't get published to YouTube, and now I have more work to do. So, all right, you guys, we did it. we got our little waves on the back there. See, it worked out okay. I would recommend doing that before. If you see on my sample card here, I accidentally dropped an ink pad into, I don't know if you can see there's lines here. I dumped the crumb cake ink pad in there. So it's still good though. This now will go here. And I'm gonna pop this up with dimensionals. So grab some of those, and I like to use the big ones when I can. So I'm gonna use 6 of them. Top, bottom, and middle. And just to avoid the saggy middle, we'll do another one there. So this is going to get, it's out. How many of you forgot to stamp your blue background and you're stamping along with me and had it put together? I'm curious. Did I mess any? Oh, I managed to get a little blue ink right on the corner. It's okay though. If you have a little ink eraser, it took it right off. So, I mean, it's still there slightly, but it took off a lot of it. So now this is going to get set down on the card like that. Now here's your choice, guys. Do you want to put the sentiment on or not? Right? So this is your side by side. You have option 1 on the left with a sentiment, option 2 on the right without. You're at the eye doctor, you have to make that decision really fast. No, you don't have to make it really fast, but I'm gonna put the sentiment on it. I like having the little sentiment on the outside, and it's slightly overhanging and in the weeds a little bit down here. Yes, Mary Lemke, you're right. Small mistakes make it homemade. All right, not quite done. There's a little bit of twine left. You guys might have like, I would grab 4 inches. It just depends on how good you are with your fingers. What it is, it's right here. There's this little knot action going on. So depending on, you might wait till the very end too on this just to see how much you have left. But if you, I just threw it away. If you, where are you? Do not throw away any of your linen thread, even if it is this small, because the very last card, you could use that right there. So don't throw that away, guys. I just threw it away and I remembered that. So, okay, this is going to now go underneath here, and you're taking those 2 pieces and you're going to tie a little knot here, and then it's going to be on the side, and then you can take your scissors. These 2, don't throw those away, guys. I made these 2 cards first so that you have these little scraps for the last card, okay? You're going to salvage them. And then, gosh, this card seems to be taking forever, but I think we're okay. You guys, in your card kit, you have a strip. So a strip gives you, let's see here. A strip gives you 3 brown, 3 dark gray, and 3 light gray with 3 different sizes. So these are the same, those are the same, and then there's a long skinny one. So that's what you guys got for your card kit. So I was able just to cut strips. I'm gonna try to just use what I have here for some scraps, and we're gonna go that route. And I'm just going to use one of each and one of each of the colors. And oh, that one's gonna go right there. Move that guy over here. Okay, so I'll need these again soon, so I'm gonna set them here. But basically pick any 3 of your pebbles that you want, and I picked one of each of the sizes and one of each of the colors so that I got a little variety. And then we got our inside. Very nice. I like that inside. It's so cool. Like, surprise! There's another palm tree on the inside. All right. Woo! We made it through that one. I hope the other ones, this one was a little labor intense. Ooh, and I just split my envelope. Hang on, let's put that like that. Okay, 1 down, 2 to go. Cindy loves it, yay. All right, we're gonna do this one next, okay, which is another disclaimer that Just Jade has retired. So boggles my mind, but the June mini catalog, or the spring mini catalog retires June 30th, and it has designer paper that features the in colors. So Just Jade was definitely pulled in, so artfully composed designer paper with Just Jade. Okay, so that's what we're gonna do next. So you guys pull out of your card kits. This is a fun fold as well. So just know you're gonna have different shapes. Oh, this would be a good Mystery card night. Yeah, I'll have to remember this one. Okay, so in your kit, you guys, your linen thread is, again, saved from using previously. Your pebbles are from the last card. But in your kit, you guys, there's a lot of layers going on with this. So let's start with our base. 8.5 by 4.25. Oh, thank you, Linda Hall. And then scored at 5.5. Thanks, Francis. Thanks, Karen. Oh, it got me good. Okay, tickle, tickle. So when you burnish this, thanks, Cindy. When you burnish this, the fold is going to be on the left-hand side. This opens like this, all right? You guys will have a Just Jade mat, 5.25 by 4. We used a 3 by 3 13/16 to mat on the side here. So you'll see that on this side, that is correct, that it does not go all the way to here. Paper conservation, this is 3 inches. You get 4 columns out of the DSP when you do it like that. Your little arm here, I call it the arm. In the PDF tutorial, I called this the arm because it's like an arm. It's 6 inches and it's scored at 3, and then it's 3 and like 3/4 high, something about like that. And this is gonna actually get glued down here. And then the rest of your pieces, there's a designer paper with a Just Jade mat that fits on this section here. And then in your kit, if I'm not mistaken, I cut 2 Just Jades for the mats, one for the top and one for the inside. And then I cut your whites to be, so you should have 2 whites, 2 Just Jades for your top mat, and then this mat. Now, when Diane and I designed the card, we did not double mat this, sad face, but when I kitted up your cards, just know I double matted it for you. I think, I mean, somebody will confirm when you guys, when somebody wants to take a minute and just look, I'm pretty sure I did put a double mat for you guys. So, and I could do that with mine if I pull out some, nope, I don't know. My Just Jade paper is all upstairs, so I can't do that, but I'm gonna make do. You guys will also have a little scrap of white that is for this topper right here. Okay, so, ooh, and by the magic of TV, I have mine done already, yay. So just to get some pieces put together, I wanna get glue happy right away, just because I feel like this will be a good opportunity to get some stuff put together. And then there's less clutter everywhere here. So we're just putting liquid glue on those 2 designer series papers. One's gonna go onto this Just Jade mat. And then the other, hi Julie Bierschbach. And then this one is gonna go on this Just Jade, right like this. And then we can flip both of these over and adhere both of these onto our card. Now let's do this one first and make sure you get your designer paper all the way, you know, so it's on the right hand side. Get that put on your card base here. And then this one, the leaves have a direction. For me, they go up like that. So I wanna put them that way versus this way. And that's gonna go here, like that. And then your arm, you wanna make sure, it doesn't matter which side you glue, but when you glue it, the fold needs to be on the right-hand side here. All right, so then we're gonna put some glue on the back of this. And then when I go to adhere this, I tried to like, so there's 2 of my fingers and 2 of my fingers is kind of what it is. I kind of slide this so that it's back here, right? So the glue's not hitting anything. And so when I slide this, then I work my way over and centered top to bottom, left to right. And when I get it about 2 fingers and 2 fingers, right, then I'm good, except for I'm crooked a little. I believe I made yours just slightly shorter so that you see more of the designer paper. All right, so now we've basically got our card base ready to go, but we need to do some stamping. So let's set this over yonder. We'll put it right here. And then we're going to do our stamping. So we have another little scene going on. This time we're using the stamp that has the 3 palm trees together. We're using our sun again. We're using the grass, but the grass this time is in evening evergreen. So we are going to clean this one. And the birds are in here. Now this is where I wanted to tell you about the birds. And we're done with this. So let's just clean that. And then our sand, let's clean that too. And we'll start fresh with the sand. And done with this. Guys, I got my brand new chamois and I'm breaking it in. Don't be afraid to pick up your chamois, right? If you want to leave it in there because it grosses you out, the touching and the feeling of it, just go like that. But I find that I get a cleaner stamp if I just pick it right up and push into the chamois with the stamp. And that's good. Okay. Oh, sentiments. So there are no sentiments on the outside of this card, but you could very well easily do something similar to what we did on the last one. You could have added a little strip there if you want, no problem. So we have an inside and then we have the outside. And let's grab a little scrap paper, a new one. And we're gonna start with the sand on this one, I think. So now you guys have two white pieces that are the same size. If you recall, I just said when Diane and I designed it, we didn't double mat the inside. But in honor and tradition of the Let's Just Stamp class, I created two white pieces and two just jade pieces for you that are the same size. So you shouldn't have to pay any attention to which is your outside and which is your inside. And we're gonna use our Brune Dune, or AKA crumb of the cake. And we're gonna stamp our hills first. If you see here, it's at a little bit of a diagonal and it's like this, and then we went down like that. And I did do it at second strength. So stamp off, unless you like it darker, but you could. So I've got this guy going like this, and then stamp off. And this one kind of fills up the whole thing. Now there's a little area there that doesn't have any color, but you could just take, and there was still ink on there, and it was a lighter ink. So you could always do that. And then stamp off again, and we're gonna do, so we didn't put palm trees on the inside. It would have gotten a really full, not a lot of room to write anything. So that's it for crumb cake. And we need soft suede. We'll do our trees next. Now, the reason that I gave you the little scrap piece is because it's a lot of work to color these with jade and then soft suede. So what we did is we stamped the whole thing in soft suede. I'd say something like that. And then you're gonna need, just, this made it easier. If you are good at coloring your stamps and you're using different colors with washi tape, go for it. It's quite all right, but we thought it would be easier for everybody, and I'm gonna clean the other side as well. Get my chamois dirty there. What you're gonna do is take just jade ink now and ink up the top of the trees, and you're gonna use that little scratch paper and you're gonna stamp your trees on that, okay? And then what happens is you're gonna use your scissors and you can cut around there. And then when you're all done with that, by the magic of TV, you have green hands and green tree toppers. And that's gonna go right over the top of that. And then they're popped up, so it gives it a little bit of height and dimension. And I mean, you see the brown underneath there, but it looks like shadow. So that's quite all right. So that's for just jade. And we have a little, oh, I keep changing the light as I keep knocking on it. There's a little bit of grass on our bottoms here. So you guys work on fussy cutting that while you have a moment. The grass here though is the same kind of concept where there's one like along the bottom here. And I probably did second strength. Yeah. So this, oh yeah, second strength is a lot lighter. So do you see the difference? Yeah, so we're going to flip this over, and this is why you get two sides to every paper, because you can, well, cardstock usually, because you can redo something if you don't like it. So I'm definitely, that was a lesson that I wouldn't do, I'll do this guy again. Stamp off like that. And then we're got a little bit filling in right there. Now, sorry guys, you get to see this twice. This happens. If you don't like the way you stamp something, good lesson. You don't have to always stay with what you did. So now we've got to get back to the soft suede. And this happens in class a lot too, that somebody stamps something and they get to the end and then they want to redo it. And it's all right. So now though, second strength with our grass. Okay, so stamp off. Boom. And then I have a little grass growing up there. So here's how it looked the second time I did it. And then look how dark it looks there. It looks like not good grass. So that's it. Oh, and then on your inside here, stamp off. And we're going to put some grass growing in our sand on there. And we got to get a sun, some birds. So let's do the sun next. These trees don't look good right now, guys. I know that. But once we get our little jade toppers on, we'll be good to go. So our sun is top left over here. Ooh, that's really dark. So on the other one, I'm going to do second strength. So that was first strength. And then on this one, second strength. So I'm not going to redo the inside because it's the inside. And nobody's really going to care, I don't think, if the inside is a little darker. All right, so that's it for yellow. And we were talking about my disclaimer on birds earlier. And there's the stamp set called In the Moment. There's this stamp, and it has these two birds. And they were the perfect birds for something in the past that I wanted to do. The problem is that they were attached to this girl. And to make it work, you guys, and don't be afraid to do this if this is what you want to do, I cut them off. I literally cut that part off. Oh, Kelly wants that someday in the future. Okay, so that is where I got these stamps from. All right, so these little birds are from the In the Moment, and they are in basic gray. Again, you could use Memento if you wanted, but same thing here. If you get too much ink on and you stamp too hard, you're gonna get a halo. So on here, we've got these little birds kind of flying through the sun. And the same thing here. Looks super cool, adding those birds kind of like right in front of the sun. And I did the sentiment in basic gray. And I'm starting to wonder, I think I'm going to go with that. So we're going to do this one as a happy birthday too. And I just cleaned it. Oh, I didn't clean it. What color did I stamp that in? Oh, not basic gray. Hang on. We're going to clean this one. We're going to make this as a birthday card too. It's nice and a small stamp, so it fits really nicely in the middle here. Okay, now practice. Looks good. We're going to put that right there. All right, so that looks done. Done. All right, I think we've officially finished the stamping on this card. And what we can do is doing a little assembly. Now, for these little treetop bobble-ops, you can take and pop them up with dimensionals. I would put 3 small ones behind each of those. And when you put this onto the to the dead trees, like these are dead trees, this brings it back to life, just like in the blink of an eye. So, see, that fixed that. I did see here that like second strength might have looked nice. I don't know. Like I know I used full strength here, but remember on the other tree we did second strength and that looked nice. So now these two can get flipped over. Nope. This one can get flipped over. I just looked at the card and I'm like, oh, there's ribbon on there, or linen thread. So this will go on our inside. Now, you'll put yours onto your Just Jade mat, and then once it's on the Just Jade mat, you should put it on the inside here, right? So having that double matting is super cool. Now, this card has, oh gosh, I just glued it on the inside of the wrong one. Oh, well. That's what happens when I don't glue my insides in. So this one will go on here now. Okay, it's okay. It's all the same. So we got to do the ribbon though. So grab your tear and tape. Oh man, We just go with it. Okay, the tear and tape, we're gonna do the same concept on this one. We're going to, you guys should have a bunch of linen thread left. You're going to take your end of it and catch the end and bring it across. I'm gonna go a little bit lower and catch this side, bring it back, and then catch this side. It should stick right to the tear and tape. You should have some leftovers. Hi, Debbie Schultz. And then that's gonna go on here. It's a Monday, I know, right, Cindy? Monday, Monday. So good to me, something like that. Okay, now we're gonna glue this on to our mat, which is what you would do for your inside. And see that Just Jade adds a little pop of color to the edge. And then if you want to pop yours up, you can. I didn't pop mine up, but I'm gonna glue it with liquid glue right to our front here. Oh man. So, oh, that's right. Yeah, you got a nice little evergreen border. Okay, so you'll have evergreen jade white, and then on your inside, you guys will have evergreen jade white. I'm gonna glue this in just so it's in. Oh yeah, it's Monday. I am a little, I was talking to Kathy King about it today. I'm like, I feel out of the loop when I don't check my emails all the time. And with working on that DSP sampler for 12 hours, I really wasn't checking my emails. And then being by my mom's, I wasn't really checking my emails. And so then all of a sudden with the instructions for this class, I'm like, oh my God, I didn't write them. And so it was just like, it's been a little rushy this morning. So all in a good way though. So you see what I did is I cut 2 more little pieces. And what I'm gonna do is, again, I'm gonna tie them around the 2 that I have going on and make a little knot. I'm gonna knot it right to the left of that tree. But we still make do. We're still having fun, right? It's all good. We're making do with what we're doing. All right, then, oh man, don't throw away the little scraps. You can use those for the next card. So I have those here. And I wonder if I can get those out of the garbage. Nope, they fell down. So you're gonna want little scraps for the next card. So for your rocks now, you guys should have 3 more rocks or pebbles that you can pull out of your ensemble or assortment that I gave you. And I'm gonna put 1 up here. I'll put 1 over here. And then there's 1 little guy. We're gonna put, oh, I need a brown one. I would like to use a brown one. Because you guys will have the ability to pull in brown ones and your gray ones. And so we're gonna put 1 right there. And, oh man, nobody's called me out on the Stella ing yet. So it's a fun little fun fold, right? That's what it's all about. So this one too would have been really pretty. Oh, thanks, Deb. If you had Pool Party or Balmy Blue, you could have blended a sky on the back of this with the blending brush like I just did on the last card. That would have been super pretty. I'm gonna actually take and Stella the sun a little bit just to put a little glittery dew on here. And then I'm also going to do a little bit with the trees. Okay, it still turned out great, even though I glued my inside on the other one, but they were the same size, so it's all good. So you guys got a fun fold done. I think it would look super cool if you would have had a little sky background there in maybe Pool Party, because it has more of a greeny color than a blue, but it looks completely fine without. You could also take a little tag and put that on the side. If you really want a sentiment, you could do something very similar to what we did over here. So either way works. So we got 2 done, you guys, okay? 2 done, 1 more to go. All right, and don't forget to be saving those little linen thread scraps. I've got a few there. So the next card is going to be a lot of blending. So we're gonna clean up shop and make a little room for the blending. And we're done with our coconuts. So let's get our little coconuts cleaned. We're done with this one. No, we're not, but we need it black. So we need him. Then we also need the happy birthday on this one. The next card is that rich razzleberry and Night of Navy card. So that's done. I feel like we're done with grass. And we're done with birds. So we'll get both of those guys cleaned up. So you guys, I don't know if you caught that I got mystery card clue number 1 out to you. I did it properly for those of you who might have missed it. I did it properly in the Cards by Christine Facebook page event, and I did it properly in my website. What happened is I grabbed the April email and let it sit there till I had it done in my website and Facebook, and then I was going to go and cut and paste it. And in the interim, I forgot that I didn't do it. So I emailed it out with April's date and April's clue number 1. And so if you did happen to cut the pieces based off of my email, you can go back and watch the April mystery card night and still make your card if you didn't do it. And if you didn't do it, then I sent out a 3rd email with the proper instructions or clue 1 and the other. So it was a mixture of like stuff that I thought I did it and I apparently didn't. So proofreading is very important, you guys. So, all right. So that was a little note on the mystery card night. Hi, Barb Johnson. So clue 1 is out there. Mystery card night is a week from tonight. It is a fun fold as well, which is super cool. You're going to love the card layout. If Deb Norman is still watching, she might recognize all of the measurements when she looks at it, because it's a card I cased from her. So, all right, your kit, you guys. So there's lots of pieces in this one, and you should have a little linen thread left. So keep your linen thread off to the side, and you will have, this is where we got some more shimmer paper. So shimmer next to the white, you guys, look very similar, but they are different. The shimmer is more of a creamy white. They are the same size, and you have 2 rich razzles of the berries that are the same size. One is your inside and one is your outside, okay? Then you have, this is from the Hey Sports Fan designer paper. You can tell on the back there's tickets. So that is a cool blue wood grain, and you'll have 2 razzleberries. Oh, Deb didn't recognize it. Yay. Okay, you have 2 razzleberries for this, okay? So let's set them over here. You guys have 2 pieces of crumb cake here. One's a little bit taller than the other, and one's a little shorter. What we need to do is the same concept. We need to take our scissors and round a hill on the one. So manual hill making here. There's no die for it. And the same on this other one. Random hill making. Hi, Naughty Nancy. Hope you made it to Tennessee okay. All right, so you've got your hills going on here. So that's now ready. Not ready. We have to sponge the top of them a little bit. You guys, there's a 3/4 inch circle that is of the pearlescent paper that's already punched out for you. And your card base. I've already done yours, but I wanted to show you how I did it in case you didn't catch it. It's a traditional card base, so it's 8.5 by 5.5. I do have it scored here in the middle at 4.5, 4.25. And to do the little side strips, so this is a fun fold. Good, glad you made it, Nancy. Like this folds up like this, and then these little side strips go down. That's at 1.25 inches in. So at 1.25 here, I'm gonna take my blade. I did this on all of yours, so you guys are done, but just in case you're wondering, you take it and you cut it down to the score line. And then I flipped it this way, and I did it that way because when you use a trimmer like this, it leaves a little rolled edge, just a little, and I want that rolled edge on the same side versus this side. I have it both on this side now. All right, that's how you do that. And you can make those side strips 1.25, 1.5, 1, whatever you want them to be. And then what we're gonna do is fold this in half, and wow, throw the bone folder on the floor for good measure, and then we're going to burnish this. Hi, Lynn Beasley. All right, so there's that. So what I've got is you can make this card with these up and make it into a spanner card, kind of. But I decided on, like with Diane, we talked about, we're just gonna glue these flat. Just put them down, get them glued good. Hi, Donna Simmer. All right, so then this one is going to come down like that. And then this one, I'm trying to match my corners up while I do that, not that I glue them crooked. And then what we can do here, as long as we're in our gluing mood, we can take our strips here of designer paper. One by one, I did test everybody's that I did for kits. I held them up to the raspberry and I made sure that, so some of this blue wood grain is lighter and some is darker. So I tried to make sure I matched up yours so that you didn't have like a dark one and a light one. So hopefully I did okay. So then these get flipped over and we're gonna glue those right down onto those side panels. Coming in super late, coming in hot, but super late, yep. So we're on our last card, Lynn, but we just started our last card. So you get to catch almost all of this. This is, I've heard people call this a spanner card. I don't know, I call it like a side panel card, like, because you have these two side panels. So now this is gonna flip up and down. So there is, it's hard to see it, but on the top of these sand dunes, there's a little crumb cake sponged on the top of the edge so that it gives it a little extra darkness there. So we're gonna need the crumb cake ink pad for that. And what I would recommend is a sponge dauber. We don't sell sponges, but if you had a sponge, you could definitely use a sponge. But you're gonna just dip into your sponge dauber. And this kind of accentuates the top of the hill, where if you didn't do that, like, so now you can see that it actually draws a line to it, where there it blends in more. There it kind of gives it coloring. I'm gonna do that on both of them. You can go down a little bit more or keep it snug to the top. All right, so that's it with the sponge dauber. Oh yeah, replay is great later. So those are those ready to go. There's a little bit of, we gotta do blending. And I'm trying to think if we wanna do that now. There's a happy birthday at the bottom here too. So make sure you don't cut your hill too far to the bottom. I'm gonna grab basic gray for this. So if you do this and you don't like it, you can flip it over. But if you do that, then you're gonna have to sponge the edge again. So it might have made more sense to stamp it first, but hopefully if you stamp it, you give it a good little squish here, get it straight, and you shouldn't have to do it twice. All right, so that's our sentiment, and we're going to get blending happy now. So let's see, I didn't use that sheet. We're gonna pull this one back here. This is why we use a few ink pads going on here. So this is, let's put this like that. We have here 4 colors for this blending action. There was a class, Carissa, I don't know if you're still watching. We did this on a card for a class, and I am drawing a blank which one it was. Oh, New Horizons, that's what it was, New Horizons. Okay, so we're gonna do Highland Heather first. So if you guys watched the New Horizons class, this is pretty much the same background. If it was Carissa, I bet she'd use the same blending brush for almost all of these, and I might end up doing that. We're gonna put a little Highland Heather first. So I always go off like that because it's a little sharpness, and I'm gonna do a little purple first. It was New Horizons. If you guys missed New Horizons, you should go back and watch that. There's some really pretty blending in there. Okay, so first we're gonna get a little bit of purple, and I am going to go very lightly. Now you don't have to worry about this because it gets covered up by your sand hills. So we're just putting a little light purple over this, and then I'm gonna brush out a little bit, and we're gonna go right to raspberry. So we're gonna bring in a little raspberry. Now, I wanna keep the purple near the top and bring in the raspberry more in the middle. So you guys, this is that really pretty purpley night sky. It's not gonna be very intense, but we're just getting a little raspberry. I'm trying to leave the purple at the top, and then we're going to put Blackberry Bliss in here too, into the mix. Now that's dark, so we don't want to go crazy. Wait, let's see the card. So you guys know that when you see the sunset, it never looks the same, and it's streaky and sometimes splotchy, and so that's kind of the look going for here. And so far this is what I've got. Now it looks kind of crazy at the moment, but I want to pull in a little bit more of my Highland Heather. So I'm going to open this one back up. I'm going to brush out this color. See, this is where I know Carissa uses the same blending brush, and she would just do this in between. I have a tendency to use a different color for every brush, but if you get most of that out and then dip in here, you shouldn't cross-contaminate too much. But I want to get a little more purple in here. So I'm going to bring in the purple and kind of go over the whole thing. This takes a little practice, you guys. If you've never done the blending, you might practice on some white paper before using your shimmer paper, but I'm getting to the point where I like that. I'm good with that. But if you look at here, there's little hints of blue. So I'm going to use the Balmy Blue brush that I used earlier and kind of wipe that out and get myself some navy going on. And now, how to do the navy. It's really like swooshy. So I'm just kind of dragging it from the side. You know, because when you have the sky, you see streaks and splotches of different color. And all I did was put some splotches of blue in there. I didn't blend the entire thing. I just really just put some splotches. Like, kind of pushing the brush into it. So that's it. I'm leaving it like that because I'm good. Like, sometimes less is best. You can't keep doing it because you don't, like, sometimes it doesn't make it better if you keep doing it. So that's basically, let me see what the inside looks here. Okay, cool. All right, so that's our inside. So we've got this blending done. So I'm gonna move this out of here so that it's not so distracting in the background. And we have some stamping to do now. So on the inside here, there is a moon, and it's stamped in base. You could definitely use basic gray. Don't pull in another color. I mean, if you have a smoky slate, you could do it, but I don't recommend having to have all these different colors of ink. So you definitely want to get the yellow off of your sun, because now we're going to be stamping a moon. And to do the moon, yeah, that light, what you're going to do, so this is first strength, second strength, and then I'd even go third. So that lighter one. So it makes it look like it's just coming up over the horizon. So, right, like that. So it's even a hair darker than that one, but that's okay. It's just starting to come out. And then we need to pull back and grab our crumb cake. And we're going to make our sand dunes. So this guy's done. Sand dunes are same color, crumb cake. I think I left them dark here, so we might as well do that right here. Don't worry, it'll be okay that they're a little darker. And you can always do, if you want a little bit more, do a second one, because then it made it look like there's two hills there. Nothing on the inside or on the outside. Now the trees, they're clean. Okay, so whenever you see the sunset, you always see the black in the front, like your trees are black. So you definitely need the memento here. And we're gonna inky dinky do. I do this one. I have a better time holding this ink pad like this. So our trees are gonna get planted down here in the corner. Don't worry if you go off the edge. Instead of putting this way in the middle and losing a lot of writing space, I'm actually gonna position it so I might only have those two trees actually. So we're gonna go like that. I kind of got a little portion of it there. Nobody's even gonna notice that. When that gets glued next to the raspberry, it'll be okay. I just felt like you want a little more room and space to write there. So that's the inside here. Now, you guys get one shot to get this one right. So what I would do if I were you is you have your sand hill. I know if it were me, what I'm gonna do is put this here, but I don't wanna accidentally stamp on that. So what I'm gonna do is flip this over and use this as a guide and bring it down just a hair. And then I know about how high I need this to stamp. So, and it's the back side, so it's okay. So, and honestly, if you know you need to go right about here, whatever's there is gonna get covered up anyways. Hi, Patsy Hessen. Hi, Diane Bogenhagen. We're on our last card. Okay, so about my finger width and then off this way. So something like this will work perfectly fine for this guy. And let this one marinate. You want this to look as black and crisp as possible against this purpley ink. And just let it sit there and marinate. All right. That's good. If you did set this up on the Stamparatus, you could have done like stamp it once and stamp it again and get it really dark, but I'm okay with this. Then you're gonna take your little pearlescent moon over Miami, and that's gonna go up here on the top corner. I kind of get it set so that the corner is here. How did you miss the start? Well, let's just say you just got home. You had things going on, girl. We're almost done. Yeah, look at us go here. We're on our last card. So I'm cutting off that edge and that edge. Yeah, and you just missed the blending. You could have watched, you have to watch the replay, Diane, so you can watch the blending again. All right, so now we've got our pearlescent moon there. Now, when it comes time to assemble this, this is where I wanted you guys to save whatever scraps you have left at the end. You're gonna need to, this was Diane's idea, you guys. We were like, how can we add ribbon to this card? So you're going to put your tear and tape along the edge right here on the back side. And then whatever you have left for scraps of your little, that one you could almost even fold in half, but I won't. Like whatever you have left, oh man, there it went flying. Like this one I have about 1 inch. What I'm gonna do is take that and fold it in half and put that here. And then I've got this little single one. He was just cut off of the other card. I'm gonna put that here. And you might have a little bit more left. So I've got some more, whatever you have left, as much grass as you want growing there. You're just gonna take it. You can fold it in half, or you can put it singly. Don't worry if it's too long, because you can always trim this. And I'm gonna take this one. As long as I've got this, I'm gonna keep using it. Like whatever scraps you guys had left, use it to create this little grass look. So we did I did another class with this grass growing out. I can't remember which one it was, but oh, it was the hat card that we did for the April monthly class. We had little grass growing out. So, all right, once you have enough grass and you're good, like you've got it taken care of, you're gonna put another piece of tear and tape over the top of that, and I would pick that off. And I like to pop up the top edges of my sand dunes here, so I'm gonna put a dimensional and a dimensional just at the top, not at the bottom. Okay, so that's prepped. I'm gonna do the same thing with this one. There's going to be dimensionals at the top, but I'm gluing it flat at the bottom. So we got these 4. Okay, so ultimately, this is gonna go on here like that, and then this will go on here. So I'm gonna do this one first. So pick off the backs, and then I would put a little bit of glue here and lining up my corners. The one corner for sure, and then what happens is if it's too long, you're gonna always take your paper scissors and just trim any excess overhang off. And then you'll do the same thing on this one. And then put a little bit of liquid glue. Oh, I got the liquid glue open, so we're gonna do this one and this one. And then right there. And then this will go at the bottom here. Line up those corners. Now this one, oh, just got my finger in it. Can go on that. All right, so flip and flip. And then glue, glue. If you guys get the little glue balls on there, all you gotta do is take them and pull them right off with some paper or your fingers, whatever you want. When I was stamping with Gina, she'd always hand me the little glue ball and it would be like a little booger. I'm like, I don't want your boogers, but I knew it was glue, so it's okay. So then this guy, all right, we're gonna find it underneath here. So this goes on our inside. The razzleberry with the Night of Navy is a nice color combination, you guys. And then this gets flipped and we'll put that onto our front. And we're not done yet. So that will go here. There's not a lot of margin, you guys. You don't see a lot of the navy. It was hard. So what I would say you should do is trim your grass. I honestly don't think I'm going to trim my grass because it looks like a good height to me, but I would take the pick tool. And when you take the pick tool, these actually have 3 swirled together threads. And when you take your pick tool, you can separate them so they look more frazzly. Like, let's get that guy. And so when you frazzle them out, they look more frayed and open. So that's something you could do. And then what you'll have left is you guys should have 3 stones left. And you could grab what 3 ones you have left. And I got one there. And then I have a gray one next to it. And then I put a little bit by the stones down here. We can put one right there with that. Now, mentioned earlier that I added the polished dots afterwards. Didn't put them in your kits, but if you guys have the polished dots or diamonds at home, you could add some of them in the sky to make it look like stars. It would add to it. So just an afterthought, if you do want to do that, go for it. But if you don't, it still looks completely awesome and exquisite without having those in the sky. But if you have them, definitely put them on. But like, it's so pretty just the way it is without them. So you should have used up all your stones. Hopefully you used up all your linen thread, even like the last little bit of scraps that you had, should have gotten used up. I think that we made it. We got all 3 done, you guys. So definitely these pebbles, you guys, the pebbles are not carrying over. So if you're interested in getting them, they're available until June 30th or while supplies last. So as you get to the end of a catalog period, you know, the things start to run out. But we have 3 horizontal cards, you guys. Look at that. So what is your favorite? They're all 3, oh man, I lost the light again. Hit that. What is your favorite? They're all 3 completely, to me, they're all different. It's so crazy. You have like this really elegant nighttime card, you have a beachy theme card, and then you have this Hawaiian tropical feel for a card. Like, they're all different. They're all horizontal. I didn't realize that they were all horizontal until like right about now. We messed up on this one. Forgot to stamp our background, but we made it work. We followed through and we got it to happen. We got our pebbles all down. We got the linen thread used. Linda likes number 1. Like, this one just makes me feel like I need to be in a beach chair right underneath the palm trees, like camping out. I don't know. They were all fun. I love the moon on this one. Like, I loved having that moon up there. It makes me feel like, oh, the moon is coming out. So it's getting to be the end of the night. Oh, you guys all like it. You're liking number 1. Okay, very cool. You like the Myrtle likes all of them. The tropical the best. Tropical is that one, I'm guessing. Green is your favorite, Donna says. Yeah, there's something about this one too with the Just Jade and the Evening Evergreen. So when we made these cards, we had so much fun working on them. The last and tropical cards are your favorite. Cool. You guys, the fun. This is a fun set. I absolutely loved that they carried it over. Krista says she loves them all, and the blue one is talking louder. Okay. We definitely enjoyed making these. It was awesome that this set carried over. So if you guys were on the fence about the palm trees, just know that these are still available as a bundle now, or they will carry over into the new catalog. I can't remember if they carried over or as a bundle or not, but they are there. Just to give you guys a heads up on the Let's Just Stamp for next month. So Diane and I worked ahead last week, and we have Let's Just Stamp done for June. So you guys might have seen these. I showed these on the Facebook Live last week. This class features painted poppies. So if you're looking for it on my events calendar, it is the second, I think I changed it. It's the third Tuesday, or third Monday. I'm traveling. So hang on, let's see what I did. Next month, it's the painted poppies is what's being featured. They carried over. Yeah, finally warm weather here this week. Yes, you guys, we're gonna have 80 here on Thursday. It's so awesome. So you guys, this is what my schedule looks like. My hands aren't holding things like they should be. This is on my website. If you go to cardsbychrisb.com and you go to the blog and newsletter section, this is a PDF that you can print out. I try to include them in kits if I don't think you've had one printed for a while, but you can always print this yourself. I update it as much as I can, but this is the Let's Just Stamp section right here. Painted poppies. So you just see here we had paradise palms. April was flowering rain boots. This one is on Monday, June 20th. I pushed it out because I will be traveling to Zion National Park. Jean Maxwell just said that it is not a bundle in the next catalog. So you guys, you get 10% savings if you buy it now as a bundle, and it's not bundled in the future. So Painted Poppies is June 20th, a Monday, 1 p.m. And then Diane's doing it on June 21st, Tuesday at 6 p.m. And again, these are the cards. We definitely went with the black theme throughout. So black with rich razzleberry. You are going to learn the process of watercolor painting. Watercolor with these blends you got, or these the water markers here. They're called water painters. So you're gonna need them, and if you don't have them, you could use your stamping blends, you guys. You do not have to do watercoloring with this, but just know we use that shimmer white paper again on here. And so you could use blends to color, or you're gonna learn watercoloring. Here it's a little bit of red or cherry cobbler blend with cherry cobbler and black. And then this one is strawberry slush. It's not strawberry slush. A sweet sorbet. You guys, I am calling sweet sorbet strawberry slush, but slush. And we used our new strawberry slush markers, but poppy would work too. If you have the poppy markers, or real red would work. But we definitely went with the new perfectly penciled paper. So bring this guy back to life, back to reality. Perfectly penciled looks like this. And so we definitely pulled in the stripies. We pulled in this gross grain crosshatch thing, and then the polka dots. So that is new designer paper that's available in the catalog. And then always having ribbon, you guys. So this is next month. So if you want to get signed up for this, definitely reach out to me. All you have to do is email me. You can Facebook message me, text me, just say you want to get signed up. The main thing is I get you signed up, and then we can always figure out, do you want to place an order to get it for free, or do you want to pay for it? It doesn't matter to me. It's whatever works best for you. A little thing on this one, just so you know, this is embossed with Versamark and black embossing powder. So that is something too. You could also use StazOn ink. If you have a StazOn black pad, you could also use that, because this is actually vellum. And so you can't use water-based ink on vellum. So, and I did notice here that part of my U is missing. And to fix that, my marker might be dry. We're gonna make it work. And then I lost part of it. Oh man, I'm gonna have to fix that later. I just picked it off, and I can touch it up with a permanent marker. I'm just gonna draw that O in there. So, okay. They are going to be fun to work on. Yes, they are, Diane. You are so true. That is so true. Okay, so this is next month, you guys. This is Let's Just Stamp. And a little secret is that Diane and I are stamping together tomorrow, and we're planning to design July and August tomorrow. July is Wilderness Awaits, and August is the potted geraniums. So just so you know, we'll have those pretty soon. Hi, Kathy King. All right, I'm going to pull in here my sign-up sheets and not try to drop everything on the floor, which seems to be my thing for today. Yep, that's how it's going. So we also have our cards here we're going to give away. I'm going to drop down here and we are going to, so I did not hear from Penny Powell, or I might have missed it, Penny Powell, what you wanted to do. But I'm going to go with it. I didn't see the comments come up and I'm not going to look through them. But we're going to flip down. We're going to go to, so you guys, these are my sign-up sheets. All I got to do is get you on my sign-up sheets and then we figure the rest out from there. Random number generator. I always go in here and I'm like, oh, what was I in last? And then you guys see it. All right, random number generator. We had 11 people and click the word generate. Number 1 is Angela Knudsen. All right, Angela, you're the first one to place an order to get this class for free. Your number was picked, and so you are the winner chicken dinner of a door prize. Again, I feel like you got something last time. I think you won the class card challenge. You were a lucky ducky winner last week. So, all right, you guys, this was the class from last week. Oh, was it last week or 2 weeks ago? It was about a week and a half ago. We did the In Color retirement class using Magenta Madness, Misty Moonlight, Just Jade, Bumbles of the Bees, and Cinnamon Cider. If you missed this class and you want card kits, I still have about 7 left, if I'm not mistaken. I think I have room for 7 more. Yep. So these will hang out until they get consumed as people place orders and want them, or if they want to pay for them, it doesn't matter. But we're gonna do chicken dinner, chicken dinner, winner chicken dinners. Woohoo! You guys, words are hard today. I need more coffee. Winner is Karen Cotton. You are the lucky winner of the cinnamon cider. Da da da. Bumblebee goes to Denise Ray. Da da da. Just Jade goes to Latokia. Woohoo, Latokia. Misty Moonlight goes to Philly Cinto. Da, da, da. Magenta Madness goes to, I don't know how to say your last name, but I'm going to guess. Renee Trafber. Traughber. Trafberg. So Renee, if you're watching, or I need addresses, I believe, for Philly and Renee. But I believe and maybe Denise, I'm not sure about Denise. Denise, you'll have to let me know. Denise, you're watching. Just make my life easy and send me your address. You may have sent it to me in the past, but it makes it so much easier if you just pop me an email or a message and tell me your address. I would love it. So congratulations to you 5 lucky gals. Jewel the scavenger hunt. I'm working on it this afternoon. Jeannie's hungry for chicken dinner. Yes. Scavenger hunt. I'm going to try to have that published this afternoon with my newsletter. So it's 3 o'clock now. I have class at 6. My goal is to get that done before class starts. Thanks, Denise. I appreciate it. Okay. The top fans, you guys. We talked about top fans, that they were a nightmare for me for the last 5 days. And to make things easier, I just had to scroll, drop my finger, and see who gets it. So I cannot do a random number generator at the time. Facebook made their changes, and I think they made a mistake. And that's all I can say, because you can find the top fans by tablets and phones, but you can't get them from a computer. And I've had 3 people check. So top fans are Elaine Rebeck, Tammy Sokolik, Linda Rios, Lila Erickson, and Judy Bobo. Woohoo! You 5 had your names drawn for the top fan prize for the month of April. What does it mean to be a top fan? People ask me this all the time. You can give yourself the ability to turn on your top fan. If you like, you comment, and you share my Cards by Christine Facebook page stuff regularly throughout the month. You could get a top fan badge. And then what I do is I do a drawing at the end of the month, and for about every 20 people who are top fans, I do a prize. And so I had over 100, and so I did 5 prizes. So yay! So again, it was Elaine Rebeck, Tammy Sokolik, Linda Rios, and Judy Bobo, and Lila Erickson. Thank you so much, you guys. I appreciate. I think that there was over 100 top fans. That's the highest I've ever seen it. It always was hovering around 80 or 90, so to have over 100 was amazing. I really appreciate it. You guys must enjoy what I'm offering, so that makes me happy and gives me encouragement to keep doing it. So, yeah. I think that might be it. I don't know if I missed anything or not, but just know for the top fans, Linda Rios and Lila and Judy, I'll be able to get your prizes in the mail to you and then Elaine and Tammy, you guys are local to me, so I will have porch pickup for those. So yeah, so that was Let's Just Stamp featuring Paradise Palms, you guys. I hope you enjoyed it. Like, they were fun to make. I always am sad at the end of a class that I don't have any more, because then the cards come off my board and the new cards go up, and then I'm done looking at them, and they were fun. So Tyler even gave one of them a gold star, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. One of them had it, so it was good. All right, so I think that might be it, you guys. So I hope you enjoyed your Monday afternoon stamping therapy with me. We kept it down to 2 hours, which was good. Or right, I should say it's right at 2 hours. I'm going to work on that monthly May class too, so you guys will see that humming around. And also, hi Wendy Westmoreland. Also, Kelly got me my cover photos for the June monthly class and Let's Just Stamp. So I'll be publishing those events here soon as well. So, oh, I was. Hang on, I dropped something. I dropped a piece of paper. Carissa, you're on it. You're on it. Awesome. So you're right. I said if you guys reminded me, I was going to show you something. So we're going to not make a big hairy mess of everything here. And you guys we're going to flipper still skin this out. And you guys are going to see me walking around in the hive. There's that. That's where I sit and work. All right. And I'm not going to drop the tablet. And we're going to flip here. Nope. Yup. Okay. So, bye, Jeannie Parker. Go get your dinner, girl. All right, you guys. So, these were people, if they got a product share from me. Oh, where's the camera? They get cards that they could pick out a free class if they got like the paper share. So, those are waiting to go out with paper shares, product shares, ribbon and embellishments. Okay. So, you guys, I said we made 48 of these. So, we're going down the counter. These are all accounted for, you guys. These are all sold. And I think that 3 people, I know I'm going fast. This is crazy. But this is all my retired. Those are all my retired stamps right there. And I have everything already back in order that's carrying over. You guys, I got a hot mess going on in here, it seems. So all of these, I'm trying not to go so you don't get dizzy. All of these are accounted for. And I had 5 left before I started this live. And I think 3 of them are gone. And I don't know if there's any left. So I'll have to check my email when the time comes here. So, yeah. So, yeah. So that's how that is. And then this is I'll flip over here. This is my mom was helping me yesterday. These are the ribbon shares that we're working through and the product shares. So if somebody got the embellishments, this is like, hi. I'm going to do a live of this once I got it done. But like if somebody ordered the carryover embellishments, that's kind of what they get as a chunk of them. And then over here, my mom helped me cut, and then we wrapped all the ribbon, and I'm in the process of doing the same thing to all of, I know it's blurry, but doing that to all of these. So yeah. So anyways, and that's all the product share for the paper. I'm working through cutting all that. So yep, you guys, it's a never ending process. So so I'm working on all that stuff this week. And know if you did get a DSP sampler, if you got a product share, if you got an in-color club from me, it'll be mailed out this week. I had hoped to do it by tomorrow or the next day, but I realized that I'm designing all day with Diane tomorrow. And then on Wednesday, I have 2 classes. And tonight I have 2 classes. So the first opportunity I really had for my mom to get in here to help me with mailings is Thursday morning. So the plan is for all that stuff to go out on Thursday. So I hope that didn't make anybody dizzy, because it makes me dizzy watching that. So yes, Penny Powell, busy girl. That's how I roll. So, all right. If you guys just remember, you can always find my class schedule out there. There is a great sign-up deal right now as well. If anybody wants to join my team, the Be Happy Stampers, you get a whole little assortment of in-color products, including the in-color pads and like 3 other, like the grid paper and 2 other things. I don't remember it off the top of my head. But if you go to my website, cardsbycrispy.com, and go to join now, you can see what the things are. I listed them out. You get $125 worth of product for $99 plus tax. You get free shipping, and you get a past paper pumpkin. It is a phenomenal time to sign up. I know there will be a sign up promotion again in July when sale-a-bration starts, but I don't know what that is quite yet. We might know by the end of May, I'm guessing, because we'll get pre-order information by the end of May. So lots of work happened in here and is currently happening. Yes, Deb, you are so true. If anybody's interested in joining my Be Happy Stampers, just reach out to me. I'd love for you to join my team. I know you have lots of options for demonstrators to choose from, but if you choose me, you get me and all of my crazy. And Deb Norman said the Be Happy Stampers are the best. So I'm here to support anybody who's on my team, no matter how big or small their goals are. I just want to help them achieve what they are wanting. So, all right, you guys, I think I'm going to sign out and work on that, finishing up the scavenger hunt and the newsletter. Don't forget about Paper Pumpkin that you need to sign up by tomorrow to get that in color Paper Pumpkin. And we'll see you at some point tomorrow for a quick and easy Tip Tuesday. Anybody have ideas? Send them my way. All right, you guys, lots of sunshine, love, and hugs to you. We'll see you later. Bye.